Look at that. You a fair guy?
I've been to a couple now. It's something I feel like I've missed out on more than I should have. The last one I went to was the Indiana State Fair.
I've been to that.
The Indiana State Fair is actually pretty sweet.
Did you get the fried butter?
No, I didn't do that. I'm not that serious about.
It's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, I would suspect it. I like, melted butter on bread, but I don't give me a whole fried log of butter.
Yeah, fried butter was absolutely foul, but they sold it well. All kinds of fried stuff at the Indiana State Fair.
Don't they also have like a carved butter cow or something there?
There's a whole lot of butter is the point. There's really not much else going on in the Midwest but butter. And yeah, they got it at the Indiana State Fair. That is the Jacksonville Fair. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right, I probably shouldn't, but I'm gonna. This isn't just a Jacksonville Fair thing.
Yeah,
the fair, like in the morning, like this shot looks pretty sad. Agree or disagree?
I mean, I had to look at it for a second to think: is it frozen?
Like
there's like movement in the backside behind the Ferris wheel.
This is not the best. The shot is fantastic. It's not a shot problem. But like the fair in the daylight definitely hits different than the fair at night. Agreed?
100%.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the fair. I think through Sunday you can go. And bottom left you can see.
Well, it's not open yet. So.
What do you mean it's not open yet? Like today?
It opens at noon.
Yeah. That's what I'm. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I thought you meant in total.
I thought it was open. Like for the day, so I was like, maybe there's just nobody there right now. But yeah,
no,
it's not open for business.
But still, like, who's going to the fair at noon? You know what I mean? Like a fair's at night. Like I guess if you have young kids.
Yeah.
But like, and again, not sure that I should say it, but like, are you putting your young kids on a fair ride? Like,
I think there's some character to be built from it.
I don't disagree with that, but
because I grew up with essentially what was just a permanent fair for an amusement park.
It's a different time.
Essentially in my backyard.
Really?
It's this place called Lake Winnipesaukee.
Lake Winnipesaukee.
Or okay. Lake Winnie for short, because nobody wanted to say Winnipesaukee every time you had to go.
We'll look this place up.
So it's up there, and I mean, it's back home. I think the address is going to be Rossville, Georgia. Winnie. I mean, it had some genuine, like, county fair, city fair rides that were on property.
Holy cow.
There was, like, a really sketchy, the big circle that goes around and around kind of thing.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, that thing was on site. It was sketchy. And there's some like dark rides on there that are kind of terrifying too. But it was a fun place to have. I mean, it was way overpriced for what it was. You were probably better off to just drive 2 hours to Dollywood and spend an extra $30 per ticket to get an actual amusement park. But
I like your insight on these type of things.
Well, yeah, it's a neat spot though. Some fond childhood memories.
That's good. I'm glad to hear
it. The dark ride that terrified me as a kid had this, like, it would round a corner and you couldn't see it. But as a kid, when you don't know it, and the next thing you know is like the front end of, and I'm going to sound too particular when I say this, but like a cab over 18-wheeler.
Gotcha.
Just lights up and lays down on a horn. It kind of freaks you out as a kid because you don't know what's actually coming at you.
Sure, I believe that.
And then there was like a boat shoot ride. And you talk about the most janky boat shoot ride. You have to go through the tunnel and it's pitch black. It's pitch black. You're on the sketchiest boat and it smells so funky under there. Because Lake Winnipesaukee started not as an amusement park, but as a swimming hole.
Opened June 1st, 1925.
Yeah, it just opened as like a swimming pool, essentially, fed by a, I think, natural spring underneath of it.
I want you to know there's a whole Wikipedia page on incidents that have happened at this park. So
yeah, the Cannonball, which is, I think, the oldest wooden coaster in the country. Super sketchy. It gets enough speed, but the seats are loose enough you could come up out of them a little bit. It's sketchy.
Yikes. Also, it says it's temporarily closed. So
the Cannonball or Lake Winnie?
The park.
Well, that's not shocking.
So anyway, and I just want to confirm, it also doesn't look great in the daylight. Like, I think the fair and like janky amusement parks are pretty much night places, if you would ask me.
Oh, they're closed for the season. That's why it's temporarily closed.
Oh, the season.
Yeah, because down here, Disney World's 365 days a year.
You dang right it is.
Back up there, now they got about a 6-month span of the year. They ain't having nobody in the park. It's the same with Dollywood. I mean, Dollywood's probably closed now.
Maybe we should go on opening day.
Oh, it's like Winnie?
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah.
Well, I'm trying to survive and all. But anyway, so that was not expected, but Lake Winnie talked to open the show, apparently. The man that sounds like death is Nick Petty in the control room, holding it down. I said, Nick, you want to do the show? He said, I'll survive. And I said, don't worry, I won't throw it to you too much. And then 5 minutes in, I haven't really said anything. But again, I didn't see that coming, just to confirm. Action Sports Jack's 24/7 network show that has no name. We do all that. You get it by now. But Nick's going to fight through. He's going to power through for the time being. We'll do some fantasy football, some best bets, some college football, all of that as we go along here on the Action Sports Jack's 24/7 network, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch as well. I'm disappointed in you as I throw to you again for the second time in the first 5 minutes.
Disappointed in me for what?
Yesterday.
Oh, no.
I see on social. Bro's in overalls and a jersey and all this orange getup. Bro shows up today in a T-shirt.
I got him in my truck.
I mean,
I can go get him.
Where's the dedication to the thing, bit?
See, yesterday I could get away with it because it feels like a bad omen to an extent. Last time I donned the whole outfit was 22 when we lost to Georgia then.
So you decided to go for it? Yesterday?
Yeah, but not today. Not on game day. Superstition.
Gotcha.
I may have already ruined it yesterday, but I'm at least hope we got a shot today.
So you have that getup and you haven't worn it since 22?
Yeah, it's not something. I mean, I break it out in like season for certain games or when I go to games, but I haven't gone to a game. I didn't wear it when I went to the Florida game last year. I was trying to be inconspicuous because I figured we were going to lose the game going in. So I wore like a white shirt and an orange hat, or a white shirt and a white hat, and sat in the Florida section and blended in pretty good.
Nice.
The two guys to either side of me gave me grief, but nobody else did.
You went by yourself?
Yeah.
No, why?
Because I don't have anybody else that's a Tennessee fan down here as a friend.
You couldn't find one person?
No.
This is now sad. I don't know. You were working here?
Yeah. Well,
why didn't you ask Hamby?
Because me and Hamby weren't good buddies back then. It was just Hamby on the morning show as a producer, and I was the director. Like, I still liked him. We were good. We were friends, but I was like, Hamby, go with me to the game, because it was like a Florida Tennessee game.
He would have went. Bro's addicted to it.
Fine, maybe
he would have went.
Maybe,
absolutely.
Maybe.
But like, I can't believe you bought a ticket and went to Gainesville by yourself. And like,
yeah, I spent good money on the ticket too. I sat lower bowl, like,
no way,
end zone,
solo.
Yeah, home side.
Why did you do that?
Because I wanted to go to the game. I wanted to watch Tennessee play. I hadn't seen them play. It's the last Tennessee game I've been to.
If you want to be friends,
been the first game since 2019.
If you want to be friends with Nick, please reach out. Apparently, bro is desperate for some
I ain't got no friends, man.
At this point, I can't believe you went. That's the saddest and craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. I can't imagine. I can't imagine sitting through a whole sporting event by myself, not working, or doing something.
It wasn't that bad because the people that were around me, I was cordial with and cut up and had a good time. I mean, they gave me grief.
I can't believe it.
As the game went on, and I just kept looking at the dude next to me. It was like the one that was kind of drunk and giving me a hard time.
He's probably like, what's wrong with this dude?
Yeah, he probably was. He's like, what in the world's going on with this guy? Well, I kept giving him like a hard time, or nice. It's like 3rd and 8 for Florida. And I'm like, here's a first down, buddy.
You borderline tried to pick a fight with the drunk guy is what I'm hearing.
No, not necessarily.
You had no backup.
I don't need backup. What do you mean?
I don't need. Yeah, okay.
I probably get surfed down onto the field, tossed out.
There's not one person that was going to help you in a brawl. No, you're like, I don't need backup.
There wasn't a Tennessee fan in the section.
Meanwhile, you got a cough right now that's just beating you down, but you don't need backup against real grown men. All right.
Those things find me on the inside out, and I can't fight it with nothing but drugs.
That's fair.
When the drugs are finally coursing through my system, dude, I'm in such better shape today than I was 2 days ago.
That's good. You're fighting through. I appreciate that. I appreciate the brand.
2 days ago, I wanted to lay down and die. I was like, I'm done. Take me out.
That's pretty bad. That's not good. Be sure to Lysol that microphone when you leave. Actually, I don't have to use it till Wednesday, so really that's a Hamby problem. Do what you want. I don't. I recommend, but. You don't have to. Anyway, we move. NFL, fantasy football, Jags, best bets. I made a trade in fantasy.
Yeah, I saw that. Who'd you get?
So this continues to be a PSA for everybody that plays fantasy football. Mm-hmm. Draft every random running back you can when you get to that point. Because at the beginning of the season, I drafted humans like Alexander Madison. I drafted humans like Rico Dowdle. I drafted humans like Tyrone Tracy Jr., and it finally worked out. I also drafted Aaron Jones, Christian McCaffrey, and J.K. Dobbins. So I had no intention
to have 5 running backs.
Because you draft Because I'm telling you, this is how this works.
All right, fine.
Now, there's 2 ways to look at this. One,
I'm gonna vote to veto.
You're not. I'm the commissioner, bro. It ain't getting vetoed. I tell you what, it's not getting vetoed because it's a real trade. Like if it was cheap, I'm not gonna lie. Pinto, who I cannot say his team name on the show, but he's 0-9. I tried to trade with him Tyreek Hill, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll just give him to you." And I was like, "I can't do that because it's gonna be a problem." So I made a real trade. But so there's 2 ways to look at this. One, I didn't have a receiver worth a damn because Devontae Adams sucks.
Yeah.
With the Jets, with the Raiders, doesn't matter who, not good. Xavier Worthy, I don't know, bro. I didn't really intend to play him, but it's not good. I drafted Christian Kirk. Like the wide receiver thing was a bit of a mess, but I drafted every random running back I could find, and I overpaid greatly because I desperately need a receiver. But I traded Tracy and Alexander Madison for T. Higgins, and I feel pretty good about that because I desperately needed T. Higgins. And as good as Tracy's been, barring injury, which if he gets hurt, it happens, but I still have Dowdle. But barring injury, there's no scenario where Tracy's getting in there over McCaffrey, over Aaron Jones, who is banged up a little bit, and over J.K. Dobbins, because J.K. Dobbins has been sneaky good. So, I've got my backs. And my receivers, I picked up Rashad Bateman. It's scary hours for my receivers. And the dude I traded with had plenty of receivers, needed some backs. I said, hey, this Tyrone Tracy pick in the whatever round it was, last one we had in the draft, is going to get me T. Higgins. So, just a reminder, folks. Draft the random running backs and then try to flip them for receivers because it feels like people are always more desperate for running backs than receivers. Unfortunately, this year I was desperate for receivers because Xavier Worthy, not good. Christian Kirk, broken. And I think I had somebody else, too, that got hurt. Oh, Rashid Shaheed. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about that. Now I'm running out there T. Higgins. If Devontae Adams could just play, the receivers I got Lamar Jackson. I'm cooking. I'm coming for you, dog. I can't believe you're good at fantasy football. It's so annoying. It's just absolutely terrible. But anyway, fantasy football questions, you can put them in the chat, but I feel good about the trade I made. And I got to try to make some trades in Dynasty because the trade deadline is coming up, and my team sucks. So there's that. But somehow we're still in the mix.
I feel like I can lay an egg this week.
I think you're already locked in our league.
Yeah, but even this week, I can take a loss because I don't feel like the biggest spot on my weakest spot on my team right now is Evan Ingram this week. I got Cam Little. They're not going to put up touchdowns. They're going to get field goals.
You think they're going to score?
They're going to get field goals. Ain't going to get many, but they're going to get some. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I might rethink this now and drop Cam. I don't know. He's the only player I got trust in on this team right now.
Yeah, the Jags think they will go to Detroit and play the Lions. No Trevor Lawrence. Last time they were in Detroit, it was one of the worst football games ever played. I don't remember the final score. But
it was 2 years ago. They got thumped.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was right before the turnaround happened too.
Yes, that's exactly right. It was absolutely brutal. The last time they played the Lions, and I think you could expect more of the same. The Lions continue to find ways to win. Their offense, it feels like, is always cooking. Goff threw 5 interceptions and they won, so that's something. They play defense. They're well coached. We talked about the fans and the fan base a little bit last week in terms of the Lions. It will be a rowdy place to play. Just overall not good for the Jacksonville Jaguars this week, a week before the bye. And really, I feel like everybody in Jacksonville is somewhat on the same page. Will this be the last week that Doug Peterson coaches the Jacksonville Jaguars? You have a bye. You have an opportunity to change it.
If Dan Campbell does it, I'll be his biggest fan.
If Dan Campbell's the one that puts the nail in the Doug Peterson coffin?
He comes up and bites the kneecap off.
Well, here's the one thing about the Lions. They ain't gonna take it easy on anybody. They might be up 30 an onside kick. That's kind of where the Lions play, and I respect it. By the way, it's a Dan Campbell type of way to play football. But it is likely to be ugly in Detroit for the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. So, not good for the Jags. It's hard to trust any of their people in fantasy, which is how we got to this point. Cam Little maybe kicking inside. My problem with the field goal kickers is in a game like this, and we said this last week and it didn't happen, but they still lost. Jags could be down 14 in the first 6 minutes. The Lions can score that fast. We thought that about Minnesota. They didn't do it. So if the Jags are down big early, Cam Little's not kicking field goals. They're not trying to kick a field goal to make it 27-3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that is the one thing to watch out for. I actually had to pick up a kicker this week in our league. So if you're talking about our league, there are some kickers out there. I picked up, I don't even remember, Jason Sanders, I think. So it will be hard to trust Jags in fantasy. Evan Ingram is not a bad option because at least in a Trevor Lawrence blowout, it felt like Evan Ingram would always put out like 8 catches. I don't know what a Mac Jones blowout looks like because we haven't seen it yet, but we'll see. Might have one coming tomorrow afternoon. But as always, you can watch official station of the Jag. I believe CBS this week. Do we know if that's? I'm pretty sure it's CBS.
Not sure.
CBS, I'm pretty sure. And if it's not, then it's on Fox. One of the two. Just double check, but I'm pretty sure it's CBS.
The Jaguars website.
We work. Well, what do you mean you work here? How are you checking the Jaguars website?
We ran the full screen yesterday.
That's why I'm pretty sure it's CBS. I think it's CBS.
Give me a second, sir. It is CBS.
There we go. CBS 47. You can watch it. The debacle.
And then bye week next week.
The debacle you can watch play out live, and then you can watch the postgame show right here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. If it is a debacle, Dan Hicken will be pretty upset about it, and you can hear him.
The Angry Dan rant.
You can hear him talk about it.
I love Angry Dan rants.
Brent will be in the locker room in Detroit. Unless he's beefing with Doug Peterson again, then he'll be in the coach's press conference. But stay tuned to a social media channel and an Action Sports Jacks 24/7 channel near you. All right, we got to move. Best bets. Ravens Steelers should actually be a good football game. We have some better games this week. And by the way,
I was right about the Steelers game
last week.
Yeah,
you were. You were also right about the Denver game. Some of those games that looked terrible on paper, some of them were.
Yeah.
Jags Vikings, but
pitiful.
I feel like we got some better matchups. There are some clunkers in here, but Ravens Steelers should be good. Steelers continue to be decent. Lamar Jackson Ravens really good. I'm going out on a limb here a little bit. Best bet Lamar Jackson under 1.5 passing touchdowns. That's actually plus money, and because he just keeps throwing touchdown after touchdown after touchdown in these games. I go with it because the Steelers have only allowed 2 quarterbacks to throw 2 touchdowns or more in 9 games this year. One of those humans was Joe Flacco, who has now been benched again for Anthony Richardson. So, do what you want with that information. But I feel like the Steelers never play football games where anybody's scoring that much anyway. It feels like it's always 24-21, 21-17, something like that. So, and they want to give the ball to Derrick Henry. What's happening?
Behind you. Marcel.
That scared
I heard
me.
the door open.
Well, I was watching you on the stream, and I'm like, what is happening?
And then I can take a shot on Marcel right now.
I realized you were looking at me, and then I look back. Oh, I think this is a Tennessee-Georgia thing.
It is.
Huh.
It 100% is.
Well, how about that?
Oh, 2 of them?
Yikes. Another thing we can't tell you about what's going on, but Marcel Robinson, known Georgia Bulldog, not happy about the situation with Nick. It was on site there for a second.
Oh.
There we go. Not the barking. Holy cow.
Yeah.
The dogs are barking in Jacksonville. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the point of the story is Lamar Jackson ain't throwing 2 touchdowns.
Oh, 100%.
Derrick Henry's going to run some.
Yeah.
He may run some. I don't think they're playing a football game.
It feels like a running game. It feels like it's just a rush game.
Doesn't it?
Now, that bodes well for me in fantasy with Derrick Henry, but...
And they want to give it to Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the play action will work. I get it. But I don't think he's throwing 2 touchdowns. So, plus money, plus 100 on the under 1.5 passing touchdowns for Lamar Jackson.
That's a good best bet.
Browns Saints, not an appealing football game to watch.
They call the Turd Bowl.
It is questionable. Saints won last week, believe it or not. Falcons are a very confusing football team. So they got the fired coach bump a little bit. Best bet, I'm going Browns -1. I think the Browns are better with Jameis Winston. I like the offense. I like what they can
How
do.
have they done the last couple of weeks with Jameis in?
Well, here's what I'll tell you. All of their offensive stats are way up. Like humans like Cedric Tillman.
Hey, Tennessee shout out.
Humans like David Njoku, who is good, but stock is up. Humans like Elijah Moore getting unbelievable. You don't know who that is? Ole Miss? The dude that never mind. Can't talk about that either on the show, but I'll tell you in the break.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah, that guy. The numbers and the targets and the receptions are way up for everybody on the Browns now that Jameis Winston is in. Unfortunately for them, they still don't win football games. But
was he in when they beat the Ravens?
He was. I believe. Yeah, definitely he was. Yeah, he threw 334 and 3 touchdowns that game. Cedric Tillman, 7 catches for 99 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he got the game-winning touchdown. I remember that.
I mean, who are these humans? But they're making plays. I think they're better than the Saints because I think the Saints stink. We talked about this multiple times on the show. So give me Browns -1 on the road. Tough place to play. I get it. Jameis, well aware of the New Orleans situation, did it a lot when he played with the Bucs. Don't think the Browns are good. Think the Saints are worse. 1 point is 1 point. Browns win it comfortably and cover with the point, I believe. Packers-Bears debacle in Chicago this week. Offensive coordinator, we'll see ya. Gone. Looking for a job. Reports that some of the players wanted Caleb Williams benched. Just not good in Chicago.
Not good at all.
And they will welcome in the Bears, who have absolutely owned them for years, with Aaron Rodgers, with Brett Favre, and now with Jordan Love. So I'm going to buy a point. The spread is Packers -5.5. I'm going to buy it down to 4.5. -120 are the odds on the 4.5. I just think they roll them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's any confidence with the Bears.
Now, admittedly, the Bears, the defense has been good. Now, I don't know if they've fallen off in the last couple of weeks. They allow, the fewest passing yards?
They did at a time. I'm not sure if they still have that because they have been hurt. They've had a lot of guys in their secondary in and out. But, I mean, when you get throttled by the Arizona Cardinals, like, okay, Cardinals, questionable. When you get throttled at home by the New England Patriots, call it as a franchise. That is bad. And I just don't think it's getting any better. The Packers are really, really good. The Packers are, for the most part, healthy. They're not trying to bench their quarterback like the Bears are. What is that offense going to look like without the offensive coordinator? Everybody thinks firing the offensive coordinator is the right move. It's always the fix, it feels like, and I'm sure people feel that way in Jacksonville. But again, what does it look like without the offensive coaching staff?
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't believe it's going to look very good. Give me the Packers -4.5. I think they roll them. Pretty straightforward. Mentioned Joe Flacco a couple minutes ago. He's gone, and Anthony Richardson is back in for the Colts. They will play the Jets in a football game I would not recommend watching. I don't even know what to make of the Colts situation at this point.
Dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire. And the thing is, they're not like the worst team to ever play.
No.
Like, they're decent. They could beat you on any given day.
4-6?
They could, I mean, I think they might beat the Jets, but I mean, outside of like the best teams in the sport, the Colts could win every week.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna, but they could. And anyway, back to Anthony Richardson. I'm going same game parlay on this one. So give me Anthony Richardson under 14.5 pass completions. That means he will not complete 15 passes or more in the game. This season, this is a crazy stat. This season, Anthony Richardson has only completed over 11 passes once.
Jeez.
He has like 4 games with 10 completions, and then one with like, I think it's like 17 or something like that. But bro is casually out here playing football, completing 10 passes a game. That's why the completion percentage is 40, by the way. So, I don't think he's completing 15 passes against a Jets defense that at one time was good. It's been questionable the last couple weeks, but I still think they have good players on their defense. So, that's the first half. And the second half is Anthony Richardson over 24.5 rushing yards. He has rushed for 25 or more in 4 of 6 games this year. The 2 games, this is also kind of crazy. The 2 games he did not rush for more than 24.5 yards, both he rushed for 24. Isn't that wild? Like, the Anthony Richardson stats are insane, but the point of this story is Anthony Richardson under 14.5 passing completions and over 24.5 rushing yards. It's plus money on the return. It feels like both are pretty straightforward to hit. Just traded Amon-Ra and Tank Dell for Pickens and Nico. You got the better Texans receiver. Yeah.
I would have kept Amon-Ra.
Amon-Ra's tough to give up.
Yeah. And I thought Tank was going to be better. He's just not been a
too.
part of the offense like he was last year before he got hurt.
I do too. I agree with that statement. I mean, yeah.
I got sold a bill of goods on that pick.
Oh, boo-hoo, 9-1.
Yeah, different league.
Oh, good. I don't care about that league.
8-2, by the way, not 9-1.
Oh, good. I'm glad you lost again.
I lost to the guy we can't name on the stream.
You lost to Pite?
His one win.
Oh, that's tough. Bro's bleeding, and you lost to him. That is brutal. Anyway, back to the trade. I love Nico Collins, so I'm not mad at that. You got the better. You know what?
I don't think Pickens is that big of a drop-off from Amon-Ra right now, given the fact that the Steelers actually have some sort of an offense at the moment.
Well, the thing is, like, Nico and Amon-Ra are the 2 ones here, and is Pickens better than Dell? Pickens is better than Dell.
Yeah.
So at first thought, I was like, bro, no. And then now that I see it and think about it and wait more than a second to respond when things happen in life, I go, you might have won that one. That's sneaky, though. How about that? The concern I would have, and again, the more I look at this, the more I like it. With the concern I would have would be with Pickens, because I don't fully trust Russell Wilson still. Like, maybe I'm the idiot here on that, but like, I felt like just the last couple of years of Russ have been questionable. He comes in and he's been very good, don't get me wrong. Pickens is extremely talented if they could have somebody to get him the football. So as long as Russ continues to cook, you probably won this one. That's sneaky good trade.
Yeah.
Way to go. Because, Tank Dell, you're right. It's just been... I've tried to trade for Tank Dell multiple times because my wide receiver situation has just been terrible. But I wasn't giving up what people wanted to get Tank Dell in multiple different... In Dynasty, I had one. And then
people probably think Tank's worth more than what he is, and he's just not.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. He could turn it on any second.
Yeah. 100%.
But the one thing you did here in terms of the trade is you got a number 1 in Pickens, and you got a number 1 in Nico Collins, and you only gave up one number 1 back. So I'm not mad at it. It's a decent trade. Sneaky good trade is what I'll say on that. Jags-Lions, back to the best bets. Jags-Lions, I don't actually believe this is going to happen. But this is kind of like the Najee Harris thing a couple weeks ago, speaking into existence. Brian Thomas Jr. over 17.5 longest reception. I don't know. I mean, they refuse to throw it to him. But I'm kind of hoping if they do throw it to him, he'll get an 18-yard reception. I wrote in my differential, I don't know, they got to get bro the ball. So that's where I'm at with that. He's gone over this number in 6 to 10 games, so 60% of his longest receptions are over the 17.5 number. It could happen. Probably won't, but the Jags stink, and I don't really know what else to do in terms of this. And really, I don't know what to do with the Lions either. Because, if this goes like the Bills game,
sporadic,
if this goes like the Bills game, they're going to stop playing football after the first half.
Yeah.
I wanted to go David Montgomery rushing yards, but he just hasn't been doing it. So I don't.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
It's high. See, my thing is, do they take Gibbs out?
Oh.
I don't know. It's hard to. I think it's hard to go with here. Gibbs' number was 71.5. So give me Brian Thomas Jr. over. Just give me an 18-yard catch for Brian Thomas Jr. They've got to get dude the football. He's the best thing they got. We'll see if they do it. Dobbins and Bucky for Jacobs, a good trade. I'm worried about his playoff schedule and Gus Edwards. My running back room is Cook, Dobbins, Tracy, Bucky, Brooks. Okay, so you got a ton of running backs.
Yeah. Do you have anything else on your team?
See, no, this is a smart human right here. Okay.
All right, fine. Maybe it's
this is what I just talked about. You may, if you weren't here at the top,
strat for fantasy that I didn't know about.
I think everybody knew about it. I guarantee you, my guy drafted Tracy late, and he ended up being good. And this is just a great situation. That's what I did with multiple humans. All right, so you would give up Dobbins and Bucky for Jacobs. I love Dobbins. Gus Edwards is a factor. Hasn't been a huge problem yet, but I think we all believe that at some point it will be a touchdown factor for Gus Edwards as a bigger back. But I think Dobbins has been great so far this year, so I do think there is some sell high value. I like Jacobs. The one thing I worry about with the Packers offense is they want to throw it, and they're going to throw it. And then in terms of the running back situation with Tampa, it could be anybody on any given day, so I wouldn't be that concerned about giving up Bucky. Assuming, by the way, that this is a yearly league. If this is Dynasty, we need to have a different conversation in terms of giving up Bucky. But assuming that it's not, and it's just a regular yearly league, your wide receiver room is Nico Pickens, Higgins, Amari, and Adunze. Oh, jeez. How many people are in this league? I feel like I always ask people this question. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I feel like you may be overpaying a little bit for Jacobs. You're starting Cook. You could do it, actually, the more that I think about it.
I mean, the way his running back room is stacked between Cook, Dobbins, Tracy, Bucky.
Because you're starting Cook. I only drafted Cook and Adunze. I traded for Dobbins and Bucky, and I picked up Tracy. Okay, yeah. 12-man half PPR. Yeah, you could. Because you have enough flex options, so you don't need the third running back because your receiver options are good. Higgins is healthy again. I just traded for Higgins. Amari Cooper, it appears, will be healthy even as early as this week. So you've got wide receiver options. And I think of the 3 players in the trade, you always want to get the best player. And as good as Dobbins has been, and as much as I like Dobbins, what he's done this year, Josh Jacobs is the best player in the trade. So I wouldn't hate it, and you get to hold on to a guy like Tracy who's going to be valuable down the stretch for the Giants, especially if they take Daniel Jones out. So, again, after thinking about it for more than a second, yeah, I think you could make that trade and feel pretty good about what you did. I hate half PPR, by the way. I think it's terrible. So
it seems miserable.
It's just not, I don't know.
Not fun.
PPR gets ridiculous at times when Cooper Kupp has 18 catches in a game, and it's dude. Or the Jamar Chase thing that just happened.
Yeah.
But also, I just hate half PPR. I just don't think it should have been a thing, is all. No big deal. Not taking a shot at your league or anything, but I just hate half PPR. It's annoying. But what's worse than half PPR is zero, no PPR. It's the worst. People are just playing standard. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. Gotta have some PPR in there. That's all I'm saying. All right, Rams, Patriots. I don't know what to think about the Patriots. Drake May's cooking a little bit. I don't really know what to think about the Rams either. Like the Rams, but about all I got for you. Best bet, DeMarcus Robinson. Give me the over 15.5 yards, so a 16-yard reception for DeMarcus Robinson. 7 of 9 games, he's gone over that number, believe it or not. Big play, boom or bust. He might have 1 catch in the game, but it might be for 40 yards. That's what you're doing here. I think it's very likely he still gets targets he gets a few targets. He's still on the field, I should say, even with Puka and Cooper Kupp back. They get the majority of the targets. Kyren Williams is very good. I get it. But they're going to take a couple of deep ball shots with DeMarcus Robinson. You got to hope he catches one. 16 yards is, again, one deep ball. Matt Stafford can throw it up there. Patriots stink.
It's not even a deep ball. It's a broken tackle.
Yes, you're listening. You're listening.
I would expect if you need 17 yards on a reception and it's not a deep ball, it's a broken tackle.
Agreed, for sure.
Or he just gets the extra yardage.
Yeah. It's very possible for DeMarcus Robinson. He's having a good year. Like him.
Yeah.
By the way, the return on that, I don't even think I said it, is minus 115. So not bad. Decent. Longest reception. I think he's got it. I think half PPR is more balanced between. It is. But I still prefer full PPR. You damn right. Yeah, you do.
The balance is fun, or balance is okay, but
forget balance.
Fantasy's meant to be fun.
Give me PPR. I want to score 300 this week.
Yeah.
Give me double PPR. That's why I like.
I want to be up 55 and know I have my week 1 on Thursday night, like I was last week.
Well, that's right. But see, that's the other thing about PPR, which is dangerous. Also, you're never you. Don't get me wrong. There are times when you're out of it. If you played against Nick last week, or the Jamar Chase week, you were out of it.
Yeah.
After he had 55 points on the first night. But you got a tight end and a flex going the last day. You need 20-something. You're like, dude, we're in this. I don't know. I just like PPR. I really hate standard. I used to play a lot of standard. I hate standard now. It's just the worst. Not getting points for catches is just absolutely brutal. Anyway, but that's what I was saying. That's why I like Smash Up too, by the way. Because when you get those card points, I got dudes having 70-point fantasy days. It's fantastic. I absolutely love it. So, humble brag, not an ad for Smash Up Fantasy Sports. You can play for free, Smash Up Fantasy Sports. weekly and 3 weekly fantasy football that you can do. Would you stream? Who would you stream at tight end this week? I have McBride on bye. Taysom Hill. Yikes.
But has Taysom been a weapon in New Orleans this
year?
He had
like an 80-yard touchdown called back last week. Didn't count. Don't get nothing for that.
Yeah, no, nothing.
I think part of the play, I don't remember what happened fully. I think he actually got the point for the catch. But Hunter Henry, I'm assuming. Dawson Knox, Mike Gesicki. Oh. That's got to be Hunter Henry. I would go Hunter Henry. Taysom Hill, it's either everything or nothing, and that scares me, even though your team is solid. Dawson, I forgot. Kincaid is out. That's why Dawson Knox actually is a factor. Chiefs. One of the biggest bets I ever hit, by the way. Dawson Knox, first touchdown scorer in that AFC Championship game. That was a good one. So shout out Dawson Knox for that. I wouldn't do Gesicki. I would go Hunter or Knox.
I lean Knox, but where is Hunter playing at now?
Patriots. They're playing the Rams. He's been good. Drake May's targeted him.
Yeah. As well as the safety blanket.
I think the Rams are going to score, which makes me think the Patriots are going to have to try to score.
So he becomes less of a factor because they need receivers to hit fast.
No, I think he
can even still be a factor then. But
I think Hunter Henry's giving you a 10-point day. Oh, you're half PPR. Crap. I think Hunter Henry's giving you like a 7-point day guaranteed. Knox. The thing is, Kincaid hasn't been good. So, and I know that they trust Knox. He's been on their team for a long time. But like Kincaid has not been a big fantasy guy this year, which makes me think, why would Knox all of a sudden get peppered with targets in this football game? Like the Chiefs are good. Their linebackers are good. So, and I mean, they're holding opponents to like under 200 yards or right at 200 yards passing for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I go Hunter Henry. I think Hunter Henry is the safest of the options. He could very well score. The half PPR thing kind of sucks. Like Dawson Knox to me has a 3-catch, 28-yard day coming, in my opinion. The question is, does he score? And I know that's the question for all of these guys, but I'm going Hunter Henry would be my pick for the options you have. Tight end has been rough this year in fantasy. Like if you don't have one of the dudes, it's been tough. And even if you have one of the dudes, like I had Kasey in the first 4 weeks, it was like, dude, please play. So
get off the bench, bro.
Yeah, it's rough. It's been
get
rough.
Out of the press box. Quit hanging with Tay, man.
I don't blame him though. I'm a billionaire with a B. Billionaire. That's all I'm saying. Raiders, Dolphins. Raiders think Dolphins aren't much better. But I don't get this one. There was a time where it was like minus 200. So you'd have to put up 200 to do anything for Tyreek Hill to score a touchdown. It's plus 120. They're going plus money. I don't get it. I know it's been a rough year, but a lot of that has not been his problem. Scored last week, I believe. Make it back-to-back weeks. Plus 120, Tyreek Hill, anytime touchdown, I'm doing it. And the Raiders stink, keep in mind. So I just think there's way too much value on Tyreek to score. This is a weird one, but I kind of like it. Vikings, Titans. The Vikings, after a just beat down of the Jacksonville Jaguars, 12-7, will go play the Titans. I really don't keep up with the Titans. I don't care about them at all. They suck. They're the worst.
I think somehow it might be worse than Jacksonville.
Oh, they're terrible. Well, we're going to find out. Lucky for us, we get to watch that twice still.
In like 4 weeks.
Isn't that just the worst? Like, they should cancel football if that's what you're showing. That's all I'm saying. Like, they should play that game. Here comes another plug for the CW. They should play that game on a Wednesday afternoon on the CW.
Yeah, that would work pretty good.
Like, right in between the reruns of, like, The Flash or Arrow.
Yeah.
That's where we should get.
Or something.
That's where we should get Green Lantern. Is there a Green Lantern show right now?
Wasn't there like a long time ago that was really, really bad?
There was a movie with Ryan Reynolds that was terrible.
Oh, well, maybe that's something.
But a lot of that like DC universe is on CW. Anyway, so I see where you tried to pull that. The point of this story is the Jags-Titans will suck, but the Vikings-Titans has a chance. Here's the craziest part. So the best bet I'm going with is total first quarter points in the football game. I'm going over 7.5. All right? So I'm thinking a touchdown plus from these two teams. The Vikings are first in the league in first quarter points. It's like 8 something. All right? Which is not enough for me to do this. Tennessee, unbelievably, is 6th in first quarter points. Last 3 games, they're averaging 7 points in the first quarter. So clearly, after the first quarter, the Bros have no chance. Collectively, they can't figure it out after the first. For whatever reason, they score in the first quarter of these football games. I think Minnesota will be better. And if Tennessee's like a first quarter demon, give me the Titans to at least get 3, and give me Minnesota to get 7. Boom, we're over 7.5 plus money. It's dangerous because it could very well be 0-0. It's a dangerous game.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm feeling froggy, so I'm going to leap. Give me 7.5 or 8, really, first quarter points in the Vikings-Titans. Who would have saw that one coming? Do you think Caleb Williams' performance is a team problem or a him problem? He is getting sacked a lot. Yeah.
I think it's both. I think it's a rookie quarterback having rookie quarterback problems. Plus, terrible offensive line is not helping him any.
That's exactly right.
It's a mix of both.
Yeah, I think the team's certainly not helping him. They got him the pieces. That part hasn't worked. The play calling has been questionable. Not a lot of good going on in Chicago right now overall. And I don't know if firing your offensive coordinator helps that, especially when you're talking about a rookie quarterback. We've seen it in Jacksonville. Darrell Bevell didn't get fired that first year, but Urban Meyer did. Darrell Bevell got elevated to the head coach, which obviously changed some things for Trevor. So, yeah, I believe Caleb Williams will be good. Nick doesn't necessarily believe that he will. I think you were coming around a little bit, but that's just not good in Chicago for, I think, both reasons. Rookie quarterback problems, but offensive line, coaching staff, just not good. Not good at all for the Chicago Bears. How do you think the running back split will look like with Brooks in the next week? Talking about Carolina, I assume Jonathan Brooks and Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard deserves a lot of the football. He's earned it. They paid him. I would be surprised if it's 50-50. I really would. I think they're going to get him some carries, but I still think Chuba Hubbard is like a 70-30. And I don't think that was the case, obviously when they drafted him, I don't think they believed that would be the case. But Chuba Hubbard's been good this year, and I think it would be absolutely criminal to drop his carries a ton. He's been very valuable to them. The reason that they've been in some of these football games of late has been Chuba Hubbard's been a dog. It has not been because Bryce Young became the best quarterback to ever play the sport. So I would still lean that Chuba's the guy. And I think they really told us because nobody's paying running backs, not a person. And the Panthers randomly in the middle of the season said,
the guy. Yeah.
We'll pay him. Oh, okay. That makes no sense. So I think Chuba Hubbard is still the guy, without a doubt, in Carolina, but they will get Brooks some carries, but I don't think anything fantasy-wise to pay attention to at this stage. Hey, guys, who would you drop for Brock Purdy? Mayfield is on a bye. My bench is Madison. It pains me that Travis Etienne is, on people's benches. He's on mine, too, but how did we get here? Jacoby Myers, Jawan Jennings, still got Jefferson, Mooney, Downs, Stevenson, Hall, Kyron, and Kenneth Walker.
It's Madison or Jennings, right? And I'm even leaning that it's Juwan Jennings at that point. Also, you misspelled his name.
Man.
K-A-U-A-N, I think.
It's okay. You can. I'm
kidding. I'm a Tennessee fan.
I called that one guy Roshan.
I kid because I care. You called him Roscon.
Yeah, I'd say Jawan Jennings. Assuming that. Oh, you still got Jefferson, Mooney, down. See,
I think Jennings is the one you dropped to pick him up.
I think Jennings is the move as well.
Because Jennings is boom or bust, and I got him the week he boomed, but he's been...
Jennings is boom or bust, and you laughed at me last week for Ricky Pearsall, and look what happened.
I had no clue what happened with Ricky Pearsall.
Bro scored and had 6 catches.
Sweet. So what, 13 points?
No, he 80 yards, too.
Wow.
Bro had
21 points?
That's a good day.
That is a good day. But it's not 45-point Juwan Jennings good day.
Once.
Yeah, but I hit on the one time. I hit on the one time when Alec Pierce had 30 points in a game.
That's fair. You've gotten really lucky this year at times. Anyway, my point in saying Jennings is Pearsall is very much involved. McCaffrey's back. Debo. Kittle is what I'm trying to think of. They got plenty of options. Jawan Jennings is still very much involved. Don't get me wrong, but Like when you look at the other options you have the whole Raiders offense on your team, by the way. You've got Madison and you got Jacoby Myers. The only thing you're missing is Brock Bowers. So, like, I would hold on to those two. And then the other interesting one is depending on how many people are in your league, you'd probably get away with dropping Baker Mayfield. Probably. I would still drop Jennings first because you're fine with what you've got. Flex-wise, and you've got your wide receivers, so you're good. But depending on, like, if Purdy's on waivers and not on a team, your quarterbacks in your league, it appears, are deep. So, like, you may be able to get away with dropping Mayfield, but I think Jennings is probably the move there. 10-team.
I mean, this team's loaded.
Full PPR. Love, Bijan, Gibbs, Jefferson, Drake, McBride, Terry, Brian Thomas, Jacobs, Chubb, Coop, Deontay Johnson, Taysom Hill. What would you do? My team is stacked, but I'm 6-4. I'm right there with you. And we'll probably lose this week. Not sure where to upgrade, honestly. One guy I think is interesting is Baker with his upcoming schedule. Not sure what this guy's team is. Look like Baker has by far the best schedule as a QB going forward. Don't drop Baker. Okay, so back to I'm very familiar with the have good players and be 6-4. I have yet to have all of my players actually play at any point this year. I had a McCaffrey debacle, I had a Michael Pittman Jr. debacle, I had a Cooper Kupp debacle. So I'm with you in the 6-4 and have a good team, and it makes no sense. I'm sorry that has happened. I'm pulling up your comment on my computer so I can relook at your team to see what to do. I will finish the best bets, by the way, here in a second. Okay. So if you're asking me who you should play, the first three, obviously, your quarterback and Bijan and Gibbs. I don't know what the deal with the Falcons is, but I believe in Bijan Robinson. Gibbs, I will say this. I mean, they may blow the Jags out, and Gibbs may not have a snap after halftime. We'll see. The Jags are just terrible. Jefferson, obviously, you know what to do. Brian Thomas Jr., it is unfortunate on how that has played out here in Jacksonville, and we have talked about it a lot because we are in Jacksonville. He is definitely not startable at this point because no Trevor Lawrence. We don't know that Mac Jones can get him the ball. They refuse to give him targets. Our boss around here has questioned Doug Peterson about that and gotten some interesting answers. So Brian Thomas Jr., not playable at this time just because we don't know. Terry McLaurin obviously played football already, and if you played him this week, you're probably screwed because he had one catch. Chubb, he's still coming back from injury is the best way I can put it. It's hard to trust him right now. Taysom Hill, Deontay Johnson, no factors, although you do need someone to play at tight end if you're talking about this week for McBride. So I guess you're kind of there. Maybe look at waivers on that. Amari Cooper's a good stash. I think you hold, well, you're 6-4, so you're kind of in trouble. But I do think he would come around. Yeah, this is unfortunate. If we're talking about playing this week, obviously your two big backs. If you didn't play McLaurin at flex, I would play Jacobs at flex. Obviously, you're probably stuck with McLaurin playing football already this week. Jordan Love is obviously a dog. And if you're looking to try to, I played Terry at flex, unfortunately, this week. That stinks. My question is more, what would you make a move for? And if so, I don't love overpaying someone when they probably won't start. Yeah. I mean, it's a good question. I would say receiver, maybe, because you got nothing to do at running back. You're not taking Gibbs out. You're not taking Bijan out. And you've got running backs you can move in terms of you have a Jacobs you could move to get a receiver. But McLaurin has been good. But if you're just trying to change it up, I would go try to get a receiver. And you could, if you're really trying to change it up, go try to get Travis Kelce. because he's gotten better as this has gone along. He's going to be a big part of what they do if they're trying to win a championship. I'm not saying that McBride is bad and there's no reason to take him out, but if you're just looking to try to change things up, I would just go see if you could make a big enough package for like somebody that's got a receiver that needs running backs, because you could move off of Jacobs. You could move off of you got to keep one of them, but you could move off of Mark Cooper potentially. You can move off Brian Thomas Jr. potentially and go get one of the bigger receivers, or make a play for Travis Kelce, I think would be the move there. But it is unfortunate that that team that you drafted, you probably thought you were winning a championship, you're 6-4. But we've all been there. Not Nick, though. He's 8-2.
No, I think I won it. The one time I won a league, I think I was... I'd have to look. Maybe 10-0 at one point.
Jeez. So you're either great at this or terrible at this.
Yes. No in between. And then like through December or something, or through November it may have been. Just went on a stretch where I didn't adjust the team at all. Like went 0-4, coasted through like in the playoffs, and then just won everything. It was stupid. It happened like 2 years ago.
Huh. Well, congratulations, Nick.
Let me see if I can find it.
Or the other option, it's still a receiver, like a guy like Cooper Kupp. I forget what you said. Are you PPR? Full PPR. Yeah, so a dude like Cooper Kupp might be a guy that you make a play for and just go for catches. Josh Downs now is not the catch guy because of the Anthony Richardson debacle, or like a Puka Nacua. Maybe go make a play for a Rams receiver and try to hit the PPR bump. Would be the move there. Or a Bengals receiver. Preferably Jamar Chase. I don't know if you have enough to get Jamar Chase, but I would go something in that direction. Or again, I think you can make the play for the tight end. I tried to get Evans as well. I think Evans is an option there, but people like to hold on to Mike Evans for whatever reason, and I think that works well in terms of.
When's he coming back?
It's supposed to be after the bye, so next week, but we'll see. I don't know that that's official. Yeah, Mike Evans was a guy I tried to get as well, and no dice. But he's one that PPR makes sense. He's their best receiver. No Godwin. K-Dot's still going to be involved. They've got 16,000 running backs, but Mike Evans is one. I would say a Bengal. I would say a Ram. Mike Evans would be one. Maybe Garrett Wilson, if that person will be willing to give him up. But Garrett Wilson is still sketchy as well. Just because of the Aaron Rodgers thing. Like, I would not go even consider a guy like Devontae Adams. I don't think anybody's moving off Nico Collins unless you're given a ton. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba has been an absolute target monster. He's actually the best bet that I need to finish. He was actually the next one. I think he's going over 4.5 catches this week. It's -135. He's had a ton of targets, even with DK Metcalf. He's their number 2. Geno just turns and throws it to him. It feels like a lot. So he's even a guy that you could probably buy somewhat lower on that's going to help you PPR-wise. I think that's an advantage you have in PPR. But Seahawks 49ers best bet, Jackson Smith and Jigba, over 4.5 catches. There's like 4 more of these. I'm going to finish these up. Falcons-Broncos. Not a good football game, by the way. Falcons, I don't know what to think about the Falcons at all. It's a mess. They win sometimes and look great, and then on the road, they usually don't really show up. Young-Ho Koo, the kicker, give me over 1.5 field goals. It's been rough for this man. He missed 3 last week. Then he had a week he didn't attempt any. Then he missed 2 the week before. But before that stretch, he's one of the best kickers in the sport.
And faith in him we have.
We got to have the faith. -105 on the line. It's in Denver. Altitude. He gets right this week. Makes a lot of kicks. Chiefs, Bills. Good football game. Good football game. Give me Josh Allen anytime touchdown. +120. Don't really get that. Maybe Vegas knows something I don't. He scored a rushing touchdown in 3 of the last 5 times they've played the Chiefs, including 2 in the playoff game. Give me Josh Allen to score a rushing touchdown at +120. Bengals, Chargers is the Sunday night game. Bengals need it desperately need it for the Bengals. I think they get it, but the spread, I will go Bengals +1.5. Bengals have 2 1-point losses this year, 2. So if you add 1.5 to those, all of a sudden they have 2 more wins. If they do lose, I believe it's close. I think the Bengals can overpower the Chargers. I don't know if the Chargers can keep up with their offense. I don't know what the defense looks like. Can they keep it close potentially? But I'm a believer in the Bengals. Give me the Bengals +1.5 is the best bet in that one. Those are the best bets in a lot of fantasy football. Evans last 4 weeks, he'll be a top 7 wide receiver. I have no doubt. I agree with that as well. By the way, the Bucs are fighting for it. Baker Mayfield's throwing it around. I believe that to be the case. You guys are going to kick out of this. This is my team in my other league. Daniels, Mixon, Taylor, Chase, St. Brown, Njoku, Gibbs, Love, Marvin Harrison Jr., James Cook, Eckler, Ferguson, Goddard, Rice on IR. Send me an invite to your leagues. I'm trying to get in. I'll pay whatever it costs. Because the Daniels thing, like, here's the thing with Daniels. We said this last week. We talked about it a little bit. I didn't believe in Jaden Daniels a ton coming out. I thought Drake May was the second guy. As I've mentioned, I was wrong. So if you drafted Daniels in like a comfortable spot, which I'm sure you did, obviously you did with all the other names you got, you hit 1,000,000,000%. Like people in Dynasty and stuff like that, like just what a pick. Jonathan Taylor and Mixon have missed time, but still, I mean, right now you're in a good spot. Chase St. Brown. Yeah. And Njoku, I know, kind of got screwed up with the Deshaun Watson thing, but he's going to be good with Jameis Winston. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is Jahmyr Gibbs. Luckily, you have plenty of options because the Marvin Harrison Jr. thing has not been great. James Cook is James Cook. Austin Eckler's been sneaky good. Ferguson and Goddard. And, I mean, that's just something, Nick. That is just something. Holy cow. Nick, we got to make some picks.
All right. Let's run them down.
We talked a ton of college football. Good thing you and Hamby are going to do that here in a couple of minutes. All right. College picks, NFL picks. We went 0-6 last week. There's no way to sugarcoat it, bro. You suck at this. This is on you.
Buddy.
This is on you. This is on you.
There's a French rat somewhere around here.
What?
We are bad. Because they say we in France.
Did you say a
French rat?
Rat, like you talking about Ratatouille?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Remy the rat. He's somewhere around here.
Remy the rat. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right.
Texas 11.5 at Arkansas.
All right. I'm going to spell this out for you just to make sure we're on the same page. Is Texas going to win by 12?
Yeah, they're going to win by 12.
See, why are you so damn confident?
I know. Bad.
But they're like, Arkansas doesn't get blown out though, do they?
No, they got blown out last week.
By who?
By Ole Miss.
Ole Miss? That wasn't last week.
That was the week before last. Because it said last week, and then it was like, wait a minute, it was the week before.
I mean,
they didn't get blown out by Tennessee because Tennessee don't know how to play offense, which is going to be problematic in another pick we're going to make in a moment.
Damn, they did get blown out. But like,
yeah.
But they still scored 30. So like, is Texas scoring 45?
Yeah. So they lost by 24 to LSU.
On the road?
They won by 33, and they lost by 32.
Sure, they put up $1 billion on Florida. Florida stinks. They only won by 3 against Vandy? I didn't realize that.
Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Vandy's weird this year.
I know.
I think Texas can roll
and
beat them by
This is on you.
12 points.
This one's on you. LSU minus 3.5 at Florida.
I don't know who's starting for the Gators, but if it's DJ Lagway, I'm taking Florida.
Oh, my goodness. What is wrong with you?
I got faith in Lagway, man.
I agree, but...
You want to go LSU, and
no,
it's the smarter pick.
I don't, because I don't believe in LSU. But the thing is, sitting here right now, we don't know that Lagway's going to play. Do we?
Well, let's find that out.
I think he's going to, but I don't know that it's officially official that he's going to play. I mean, it's trending like he's going to play.
All right. So if it's trending, I'm going to go I'm going to hedge the bet that he's going to play.
All right.
And if Badger's back, I got faith in the guy. He's at home.
We're going 0-6 again. We're going to go 0-6 again.
All right, fine. We'll go 0-6.
No, we're taking Florida plus 3.5. All right. What do we do, Nick? Tennessee, Georgia. Georgia's.
This
is shocking to me. 9.5 points after what happened last week.
It's because they think. I think the thing is they think that Ole Miss is far and above a better team than Tennessee is.
I don't know that that's true.
Offensively, they definitely are. At the moment, just functioning. So, I don't know. Here's the thing. It's in Georgia, so Kirby's going to get the team right. It's a hard place to play.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got their backs against the wall. So those guys are going to pin theirs and play their butts off. I'm going to say we're taking Tennessee not to win, but to cover. People are thinking it's going to be a 14-point loss or Georgia's going to roll them. I think ultimately, I want Tennessee to win this game. Because otherwise, the next 2 wins, they got to get style points to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They got to, blank Vandy and blank. They got to blank the next 2 games. Tennessee's defense, I think, is good enough to keep Georgia contained. Not lightweight. Beck hasn't played great. They don't have much of a. They're down a couple running backs. Etienne's out. I mean, they're banged up in the backfield. It's going to be a closer game, I think most people think. I think it's a 7-point loss. You're going to see 24-17 or 27-20. I think ultimately Georgia wins, but Tennessee is able to lose by less than 9.5.
So we're going Texas minus 11.5.
Yeah.
Florida plus 3.5. Tennessee plus 9.5.
Yeah.
Before we do the NFL picks, hey guys, I don't have a second wide receiver as Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. buys this week. I was thinking of starting Mike Williams versus the Rams, but I don't know. My best option may be on waivers. Demario Douglas, or Mike Williams is against the Ravens. That's right. He's with Steelers now. And then Demario Douglas against the Rams. I'd be scared of both of those, to be completely honest with you. Is Rashad Bateman available? I know that sounds odd, but I think he's an option. Demarcus Robinson is a boom or bust option. It may be a 40-yard touchdown. It may be 1 catch for 7 yards. I think he would probably be a waiver option in your league. It's the same dudes over and over. Noah Brown already played football. He's usually an option. Of the options that you gave, I guess I would lean Douglas just because I think the Rams are going to score and I think the Patriots are going to have to throw the football. So out of those options, I would go Douglas. I'd consider a couple of those other guys I said, though, as well. Who can I get for CMC, Lamar Jackson? You can get everybody in the sport.
Yeah, sure.
Those guys are good. All right. Jags at the Lions. 14-point favorite are the Lions. What shall we do?
Give me the fighting Dan Campbell's.
To win by 15?
They're going to win by more. Dude, 44-0. I actually just saw the score of that game. 44-0. And that was a better Jags team.
It was a good Jags team, technically.
Yeah, because it was the last time we did anything exciting.
This is the NFL, though, bro. 14 points. I'm with you. Let's take the Lions.
Yeah.
Chiefs at the Bills. Bills -2. The Chiefs.
I have a hard time picking against the Chiefs here. I have a hard time picking Bills.
They are going to lose, though, at some point.
And that's what I'm thinking is all right, they're undefeated to this point. They got to lose at some point. Who are they going to lose to? It's the dreaded foe. But yeah, give me the Bills.
Buffalo -2. I like it a lot. Ravens -2.5 at the Steelers.
See, yeah, this is... I have more faith even though I have as little faith as I do in Lamar Jackson than I do Russell Wilson right now. Even though he's not going to throw it through the air as much, he's going to run it on the ground. He's going to make it easier for Henry to be able to run. It's going to make it a harder offense to defend, and he can still throw it. He doesn't have to have a 250-yard game. He doesn't have to have 3 through the air. If he can get 1 through the air and 225 yards and spread it around and open the offense up where they can load the box, Ravens all day long.
Ravens, I'm with you. All right. Lions -14. Bills -2. Ravens -2.5. And again, Tennessee +9.5. Florida +3.5. Texas -11.5. We are going to hit a break in about 1 minute and 10 seconds. When we come back, college football talk, you will be able to see Nick in a get-up that you probably didn't know you wanted to see. Our guy, Nick, on the left, will be in overalls, orange,
jersey, and a bucket hat flipped up, making me look like an old.
I mean, Pro is going to be ready. I appreciate you fighting through the sickness to do this quality program that we do.
I'm better off today than I was yesterday.
On the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, but we got to go. Is next week Thanksgiving? 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Okay, so we got a show next week.
Yeah.
No show after Thanksgiving, but a show next week. We'll try not to go 0-6 in the picks because we desperately need to get back in it. But, we'll see.
Buddy, you can get anybody you want for those 5 guys.
There you go, Nick. Way to slam that point home. All right, when we come back, Jason Hamby and Nick talk college football. We got to go. We'll do it next week. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the weekend, everybody. College and NFL football coming on deck.
Welcome to Everbank Stadium. We call the stadium the bank. Here inside the Jaguars locker room, this is called the Vault. The Vault is a special place on game days. You can feel the energy and excitement as the Jaguars get ready to take the field. And Everbank has made a way for Jaguars fans to be a part of the action. Each home game, Everbank will select a winner and a guest to be a part of the Shadows. Be there up close and personal when the Jaguars leave the Vault to take the field. Not only that, the Vault Lounge provides a VIP pregame tailgate experience. High-end food, beverages, music, and more. Want a chance to be part of a VIP experience at a Jaguars game? Enter today at everbank.com/shadows, and you could find yourself in the shadows with the Jaguars.
For the game day hustle and every day in between. Juggling my show, Jag Social, to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242. You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing. Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Right now, save 10% off a new Rinnai tankless water heater. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. For a limited time, CGC is waiving the trip charge on all related plumbing calls. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579. It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to Spring Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion.